That's not a fountain pen. But my name is still James. This is still JG3 Reviews, and I do still do fountain pen reviews and inks and all that stuff. But every now and then, I'm going to throw a gel pen, a ballpoint, a what does James use when he can't use a fountain pen, sort of a review at you. This is not exactly that, but it is a G2 refill carrying bolt action metal pen from a company called Smoother Pro. Now, they sent this pen to me for review, and I'm going to share with you today what I think of this pen, what I like, what I don't like, and how well it does or does not write, of course. And, of course, we're going to talk about that fiddly little ring on the end of it, right? Let's flip that camera and dive right in. Okay, so the Smoother Pro metal pen comes to you thusly inside the little plastic pen sleeve and the form-fitted foam of a cardboard box. And then we get down to business. Let's take a look at this pen. First, it is an all-brass pen. It has the bolt action. Get that thing out of the way. Let's deal with this. Let's deal with this. This I want to snip off. It's a keychain so that you can carry things at the end of your pen, which I would never do. So, or I guess you could put that on a very small carabiner and put it to your belt loop and watch this thing dangle around as you. No, I'm not doing that. It's ridiculous. Anyway, maybe some of you do that. I have no idea. But for me, this is just, it's too fiddly, and it is in my way when I get. You see. So the bolt action, I'm moving on. The bolt action is in this locked position so that if it's in your pocket or swinging on your hip from your long chain of keys, I guess. I said I was moving on, didn't I? Then it won't deploy the inks. So there you are. Very simply, though, and it is a smooth action, moves over. This is so that you can use it as a fidget spinner and move on down, of course, and it's spring-loaded, and then into action. So that's the action of the bolt action. There we are. Now just ignore my fumbling. That may be in part because I just am on this side of the camera and the pen's on the other side. I don't know. Most of the time, I actually like it. It is a good smooth action, and so I have no problems with that part of it at all, despite the on-camera performance. However, this, yes. Anyway, moving on down the pen. I think this is it says a copper-colored finish. I don't know what actually produces the color. I'm sure copper being the prices that it is, that it's not that. But it probably also has, this is speculation on my part, but feels like, seems like, wears like other pens I have, that there is a protective coating here on this that will keep the patina from happening quite as quickly, because people kind of like pens like this to actually develop wear and patina and things like that. And this one, I think, has a protective coating that will keep that color lasting longer. And I will say, it is copper colored, and I don't know if this will come across on the camera quite the way that I'm seeing it. It seems fairly close here today. At times it looks a bit more rose gold than copper, so and that may actually be a net positive for you. But that's the finish of the pen. Moving on down, the shape of the pen is a hexagonal shape like a pencil, and it is smoothly done. It's nicely machined. No issues there. This is, by the way, according to the materials that were sent to me, designed in California, made in China, so that you know that. But the machining seems to have been nicely done, and I would say, the only thing I would say, I like the hexagon shape. It's like a pencil, but a little bit larger than a standard pencil, and I can get a really nice grip, and so that I like. It's a hefty pen. The way that the edges are done, they are very smooth. Like you run your finger down here, very smooth, no issues there. But they're machined sharply enough. I don't know if you can see this. I'm trying to find some contrast there while staying in focus. So not sharp, not a problem, certainly not rough. It's smoothly done and well done. But those edges still retain enough of a crisp edge that I think probably for some people, for some hands, depending on your grip, you might want to just keep that in mind. Rounded just a little bit would be a more comfortable grip, like on a wooden pencil. Those are rounded just a little bit, and I think that actually would make it just that much more comfortable. But it's comfortable to me to write with, and not that bad at all. But you do hear, you see. Everything else about this pen is nice and tight, but there's that thing, which was a design choice. Okay, that's a preference choice. Somebody has a need for this. It's just, I'm not that somebody. Anyway, the pen overall, again, is nicely machined, and it is, I don't know what you call this with metal pens. Now, I grew up a target shooter and a hunter, and this would be considered, if this was a rifle barrel, this would be a ported barrel. I don't know if we still call this ported on a pen or not. Somebody can share with me what you would call that, and maybe that's what it is. But it has that, and it does keep the pen from being slippery, and of course, just like on a target rifle, it will keep the pen from getting too warm. It allows for some ventilation, and I'm sure it's very important in those really heated writing sessions when, I've had classes where the teacher just, had so much going on that, I felt like my pen was just going to burn out at any moment, and this would have been such a big help. I'm kind of messing with you. It's a cool design. I don't mind that at all. So that's not a negative. And they are done nicely. They are machined nicely. So there's have not found any rough edge burrs or anything like that anywhere on the exterior of this pen. So that is always good. Now, the actual writing part of the pen, right? Because that matters every bit as much as the exterior. What's in here? Well, let's open it up and see. So don't lose the spring. And then we will find a G2, Pilot G2 refill. And for a lot of you, that's going to be a positive. And it does carry positive side. I like a G2 refill. And the other thing that I like about these is they're easy to find, they are inexpensive to replace, and even where I live, you can find them without involving Amazon or the U.S. Postal Service in any way whatsoever. And that is a positive. Easy and inexpensive to refill. A strongly made, hefty pen. And if you're looking for one of these kind of pens, and maybe you don't want to break the bank because, these metal pens and tactical pens and things like that do tend to be pretty pricey, then this one is a little bit more budget friendly. I'll put a link with the current price in the description below. So, do I like the pen? Overall, I do. I like the weight of the pen. It's, again, maybe some people need a weighty pen, and that's something you're always searching for. Maybe you've got issues with maybe handshakes or arthritis. Different people have different reasons for needing a pen with a bit more heft. Then this might be okay for you. You're going to know more about that than I am, but let's put it on the scale. And it is 1.62 ounces or 46 grams. So, not the heaviest pen in the world, but a bit of, let's knock some things over, a bit of a nice heft to it. All right, so we don't have to worry about whether or not this pen posts. We can jump right into the writing test. This is, again, the Smoother Pro, and this is a G2 black refill. And obviously, you don't have to check too much for wetness, but we're going to do that anyway, right? Because gel pens do, like fountain pens, have a little bit of the smearage every now and then. So there is that. The paper, by the way, is Vietnamese paper, composition notebook from Office Depot, which I find to be very fountain pen friendly, and then usually gel pen friendly as well. Now, I know you can hear, probably don't have to do that much of a writing test. The whole world knows how a Pilot G2 writes, right? So that's what we'll do with that. All right, so there is the pen, and here is a little ruler there. I'm going to let you just soak that in. You can read the numbers your own self, right? Inches and millimeters all in one view. And then, of course, we'll get out the old big guns for the diameter, and that's at its widest point. It is 11.2 millimeters or 0.44 inches. If you go to the narrower, it is 0.38 inches or 9.8 millimeters. So, right in the middle of average on that. Now, let's compare it to the size of some other pens. Right. Here is the Uniball Signo 207, very similar in size, so that gives you an idea. Another very common pen, the Energel by Pentel, also very similar, a little bit longer and certainly a larger knock than the Uniball Signo. Another really common pen, and this brass version, so metal to metal, right? Just absolutely one of my favorite gel pens, the Zebra, or Zebra, depending on where you're from. Sarasa, and that is also, really quite similar in size. And then, let's do one more Zebra, the Zebra Blend, a ballpoint pen with kind of a unique design there. All right, let's flip the camera one last time. Okay, so what is my verdict on this pen? On style, I like pretty much everything about the pen except for this, which again for me is clippable. And speaking of clips, that's what I would rather have. But they do have other models that do have clips. So that's just, which one would you choose? I actually really do like the pencil hexagonal shape of the pen. To me, that makes this a nice pen when writing. It favors my grip a little bit, or I favor it, whichever you like. And so that I like. The mechanism is just fine. I kind of find bolt action mechanisms to honestly be in all pens at all price ranges to be a bit gimmicky, but there's nothing wrong with that. And if that becomes something that for you is kind of a fidget spinner, well, as long as you're not driving everybody around you absolutely batty, then that's fine. And that may be part of the appeal. And whoever said there was anything wrong with a gimmick or a novelty? That's not necessarily a bad thing unless it's a replacement for actually doing a good job. But in this case, I think everything but the thing there I like about the pen, and I like that it's a G2 compatible pen, which also makes it compatible with some other refills, perhaps one you like better, maybe one of your favorites. So there you go. Like it, don't like it, tell me what you think in the comments below. And do you like these bolt action pens? Would you like to see more reviews of things like that? Then let me know that as well. And I do have a few of their fountain pens as well, so I will be covering those. God bless you, and I hope that you really have